Hi and welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be looking at a few of the DAUB brushes and trying to give my opinion on what I think they'd be good for and trying to use them in an illustration. Not brushes that I usually use, but just try something new and see what I can make with it. I have 4 that I'm looking at today. I have the diluted flat ribbon, the dual flat cover, the dual glazed round, and the dual flat textured that I'll be using today. This is from the acrylic pack. So I'm going to swatch these first. I'm going to push as hard as I can, as lightly as I can, and then I'm going to do a line pressing as light as I can to as hard as I can to see what the pin pressure looks like and what it does. So the first one is the diluted flat ribbon. This is pushing as hard as I can. It's not super opaque. And then as lightly as I can. It's very faint. And then if I go from as light to as dark, okay, so this one has really nice pin pressure. It goes from really faint to really opaque really fast, so that's kind of cool. And then I have the dual flat cover, again pushing as hard as I can. Oh, this one's dark. I'm using just straight black also, and as light as I care to go. It's pretty good. And ooh. Okay, right away I kind of am feeling line art for this one. This one might be good maybe for coloring. Let's see. And then we have dual flat textured. Oh wow, that's really big. Okay, let's see. As hard as I can. Oh. As light as I can. Wow, that's puny. I can't even tell a difference. Wow. Okay, so okay, so that is a 200 pixel. I'm just curious if I use 1,000 pixels. Okay, this brush is meant to be teeny tiny. That's crazy. You could use that maybe for like very fine detail work, or maybe like a sketch or something. The last brush that I'm looking at today is the dual glazed round. And this is pushing as hard as I can and as lightly as I can. Oh. Okay. And as light to as dark. It has no pin pressure. Okay. Alright. Well, these are the 4 brushes I'm trying, and I'm going to speed it up and try to do something quick with it, and I'll be back. Okay, we're finished. So with Final Fantasy VIII being remastered, I've been playing a lot of it, so I thought Squall would be something good to draw off the top of my head. I did add his scar in at the last moment because I realized I forgot to draw it, and shame on me. One thing that I liked about doing this, not only testing the brushes, it prompted me to draw something without really thinking about it, and that was really cool. A lot of times I think I spend more time thinking about my drawing than I do actually doing my drawing. So to just sit down and sort of kick something out like this in an hour's time, I'm kind of pleased with it. If I had more time, I would refine it a little bit more, but just for the sake of what I'm doing, I'm going to leave it as it is. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about each brush and what I use them for and what I think. The first one, the diluted flat ribbon, I used for the shadow colors. What I noticed when I did the swatches was when I pressed lightly to when I pressed harder, not only did the line width change, but the opacity changed. So since I wasn't using my transparent watercolor brush to blend the shadows out like I normally do, I tried to take advantage of the change in opacity. And it took a little bit of getting used to. It's by no means perfect, and if I had access to other brushes I would probably use those, but that was an interesting way to try and do my shading. It was something different. The dual flat cover I used for my inks. I think I even said that in the beginning, that's what I was going to use it for, but what I did not anticipate was how hard it was to actually control the line weight. And I think you can tell by looking at this, my line weight is all over the place, and that was not very intentional. The further down I got with it, like I like the fine line art that I have on the fluffy part of his collar. I'm pretty okay with that, but like in the hair where I started inking, it's all over the place. But again, this was a trial and error thing, so I'm gonna leave the mistakes as they are and just tell you what I learned. I also used the dual flat cover to draw his scar in at the last minute because, again, I forgot. Also, the dual flat textured brush, I originally used it for the sketch. It was so thin and so transparent and not true to color that I didn't even have to turn the opacity down when I went to clean up the sketch. And I also used it for the highlights in his hair. They look a little bit chalky to me, but it is a textured brush. If you're going for a chalk effect, that might be the brush for you, but again, keep in mind that it's very, very thin. And the dual glazed round brush. Okay, so I used it to clean up the sketch because I wanted to use it for something, and I could not think of a good reason to use it because there is no variation in the line weight. One thing I do notice is that it does mix your first and second color. If you can see here, it does mix them. And I started to suspect that when some things started coming out a little bit odd looking. So I ended up using this to actually color in this manually instead of selection tool and filling it like I normally do. One thing I noticed is if you look here, you can actually see the strokes, and I really did not like that at all. I really wanted to get my watercolor brush to blend those out and just have the actual color, but I didn't. I ended up going back to the diluted flat ribbon brush and pushing hard to try to use that more opaque color to cover that up. And it did for the most part. When you zoom out, you just kind of see that it's a little textured, but when you zoom in, it's a hot mess. But those are the 4 brushes that I tried today from the DAUB acrylic pack. If you like this, I have an absolute ton more brushes that I can try and do this with. Again, I like doing this just because not only am I trying new brushes and sort of expanding my view of the tools that I have at my disposal, It's also getting me practice just drawing something quick and getting it out of the way, and thinking less and drawing more, which is something I think that we can all do. So yeah, if you like this video, let me know in the comments, and if you have any ideas for something else we can do, let me know. If you want to see more videos, subscribe to my channels. I post every other Saturday. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.